Hi guys, I'm Shmee. Hello to you. Welcome back to the channel where today is a slightly different adventure, one I wouldn't normally film, but it's going to be a vlog behind the scenes, what it is like looking after a fleet of cars. So I currently have 7 cars in my possession. They're all in different locations, even split between different countries, but to make all of these videos flow seamlessly, there is a lot of organisation and logistical work behind the scenes, and today I want to give you a little insight into what that's like. The LT needs to be booked into a service out here in Germany. Then I'm going to bring the M5 down into the garage, jump in the GT3 to drive over to the Nürburgring, where I'll jump into the AMG GTR to take it all the way back to London. So I've got about a 10 or 11 hour drive, nearly 500 miles to get back home today. Then when I get home, I'm going to take the red RS out for a short drive. It's brand new. Maybe we'll fire up the GT8 just to hear the roar of that V8. And finally, my blue RS needs to be handed over to its new owner. Final preparations to get that ready. And then at some point, I'll pick up my orange Heritage RS as well. So there is a lot to get sorted. Basically, we're taking the AMG GTR home, but we're going to do it the long way around. I fully appreciate that this video is the ultimate in first world problems, but hopefully it will be interesting to see what is actually involved. And let's get started with the McLaren. Now it's due its second year service. It's just about to be 2 years old. The first service was done in the UK, but given it's out here in Germany, I'm quite tempted to take it to McLaren Frankfurt. It's been there before and the guys looked after it very well, but before I depart, I just want to check when the service is actually due, and that means an opportunity to just fire the car up quickly, which is always a fun thing to do. This place just feels so good when you're sat in here. So, start button. Agricultural grumble, it's very raw and powerful. So in the system here, if we go to information, service interval, 18 days. Right, we're good for now, but that will be due in no time at all. Anyway, given it's a twin turbo engine, I'm just going to let it run for a moment. I hope you can hear me over the noise of this before starting to swap some cars around. We can leave the McLaren for the moment then, and if I just come out here to lock it, check out the light show. It's always so fun the way it does that. And then on to the GT3. So here is all of my luggage because I am taking the GT3 to the Nürburgring where the AMG GTR is currently stored. Leaving that there, this will be brought back to Frankfurt next time, but it does mean driving both cars on the Autobahn today. But I need to squeeze my luggage into the front if I can find the catch. Should be fine to get this amount of stuff in there. A couple of things from Mille Miglia, bags, just stuff going back between the locations. But obviously the GT3 with its cage in the back is not the best for actually squeezing things through, especially with the fixed buckets. But fixed buckets are so cool, how could you not have them? Anyway, let me get all of that in, then take this outside and bring the M5 in. All in, that was easy. M5 time, but before I jump in, I've got a lamppost in front of me and not a whole lot of space behind. So getting this out is going to be kind of interesting. However, we have keyless. We can jump in and take a seat and get this started up as well right now. Gosh, it's hot in here. It's a boiling day, 31 degrees, even though it's forecast to thunderstorm kind of shortly. Down we go around this delightfully narrow ramp, which just feels so tight in this car because of how long the wheelbase is, but not too bad, manageable. So we can park up the car now in the GT3 spot. Definitely don't want to get this wrong when there is a bright green frog in the rearview camera. That switch around is complete, and amusingly, the next trip that the M5 will go on is a rerun of the Mille Miglia. Schmark enjoyed it so much, he's taking the BMW back down to Italy. Now, he was my co-driver in the 300 SL, and if you haven't seen our after movie, I thoroughly recommend it. I think it's probably the best video ever on the Shmee 150 channel. Some superb editing by Benzine Ben. But for now, let's jump into the GT3, so the third startup of the day. And I have my lovely PTS Gelbgrün key, but let's jump in here. And this car is picking up mileage very, very quickly. It's on nearly 9,000 kilometers, and it is just 2 months old. This is what a car is built to do. It's had a number of days at the Nürburgring on the track, on the Nordschleife. Today we won't be able to drive, but we will be able to go for a blast on the Autobahn. So let's fire it up. Flat 6 into action. Exhaust button, press. Straight out of the city, and straight onto de-restricted Autobahn. Let's drop some gears, and away we go. It's about 170 kilometers to the Nürburgring, and it's largely totally unrestricted, so you get to stretch the car and build up some nice revs. Just got to warm the engine up a little bit too, because we've only fairly recently left the city. But this car is more at home on the track, but still an awful lot of fun when you get that naturally aspirated engine screaming away through the tunnels like that. It's so good. Get bored of that downshift noise, and then it does this up to 9,000, and then it just keeps on screaming. Unfortunately, it's a little too congested, but nonetheless, noise is fun, and these engines are to die for. The 4-litre flat 6 in this thing, the way it revs up, the way it gets to that red line, just want to keep dropping it and going again, and you get such a eventually get there to the red line. It takes ages to build up to the top. It doesn't rev all that quick, but you get the prolonged spine tingling going on behind you when you do eventually get there. And now we've got an open run. So 4th gear, foot down, 190, 200, 210, 220, 230, 240, 250. You kind of get the point, and I need to back off a touch. Non-stop entertainment. This is one of the places where this car excels. A fairly tight corner, and we're stuck at 220 going around it. It's got so much mechanical and aerodynamic grip. That's where it excels on the Nordschleife, where you have tight, twisty, bumpy roads, and the car just stays absolutely planted. It does look like I have some slightly negative weather up ahead of us, though, so fingers crossed that stays away as long as possible, because we're on sticky kind of track tyres on this car, so we don't want bad weather. I told you it was an errand day, and an errand has come up that I didn't necessarily know about. So I've stopped off at the Nürburgring, where it is currently dry, which is lovely. I'm visiting Renntech, who have been holding the GTR, but the car popped up an oil measurement message. So I've just run the oil measurement, maximum 1 litre refill of oil and possible to drive. So completely normal in an engine like this. It consumed about half a litre after the first 4,000 or 5,000 kilometres. So no surprise, I'm going to top it up about half a litre again. And I will do that right now, actually. So nice and easy to do this. I nearly forgot the key is on the left side. I have a thing of oil in the bonnet. We'll open up the engine bay as well. Actually, let me just come and show you the engine bay of this car. Renntech GTS, looking very, very nice. The boot here lifts up, it's quite light, and then clicks into place, and then you have your filler caps just over here. All pretty self-explanatory, but you have carbon fibre in there, which is very nice. About the only place that there is visual carbon fibre actually on this car at all. And then, like I said, I've got a thing of oil in the front, so I will just sort this out. Really random thing, by the way, with filling up oil. A lot of people try and do it kind of straight, but if you hold it sideways, this job is made a whole lot easier. So I am just going to top this up with everything that is left in this 1 litre container, which makes my life super easy. One topped up GT3. It takes 2 minutes to run the measurement, so I'll check everything's all fine before I leave the car here. But otherwise, that is done, and I can close it back up again nice and easily. Let's make sure it's the right way around. It always looks prettier that way. He says, there we go. And click. Perfect. I definitely need to give this a clean, but random GT3 thing, the latch here to close the boot down. I keep seeing people not do that. Quite easy to get it right. And shut. Look what I found! The GTR is back, and it's time to hear it roaring into life. Even with the valves closed, because it starts with the valves closed, it still sounds awesome. Yes, these stickers are coming off, guys. Don't freak out about that. But let's get this outside. Beast of the Black Hell emerges, and the Beast of the Green Hell is right up there in the background. And then we have the Renntech GTS also. Just the noise in the background of mine. This looks so cool with the wheels, the aero kit, the body parts that it's wearing as well. Luggage transfer complete. This stuff, well, this is what I love about this car, right? It has all of the performance in the world, but that much space as well. I've taken it on my ski trips. I've used it for just about everything, and it is a very nice place to spend a 500-mile drive, or about 350 miles further from here towards London. So this is where we'll be. Let's jump in. Although first, I'm going to go and check out what's been going on the track. The noise of cars in the background, and see what it's about. The error we talked about before, but also heading back for service. That's why it's going to London, and to have that error message looked at. Although we have diagnosed it, the guys at Rentec here have taken a proper look and worked out that it's nothing too serious, so we can get that sorted out in due course. Ah, there we go, the valve's doing the right thing. So cool. Random things happen at the Nürburgring. Going for a photo lap, and there goes the 720S Powerslide Lovers GT2 RS, and we're going to be shooting the AMG GTR and the Lotus, which is really cool. So here's what's happening now. I have joined in a photo shoot that the guys from XPEL are doing currently with the AMG GTR and the Lotus, both of which have their stealth film, so they're wrapped in PPF, satin film. And they're taking some photos and video clips out of the back here as we go around the Nordschleife, which is a kind of cool spontaneous afternoon that I did not see coming. There are lots of very nice cars around here. GT4, 675 LT, we've got a GT3, we've got Powerslide Lovers GT2 RS, there's a GT3 RS behind that. Older GT3 RS there, Team Sherman 997. That looks very set up for the purpose. Performante. Menacing in black. I'm not gonna lie, that was not the afternoon that I've got planned, and it seems like these guys want some burnouts and noise, so let's give them a little... I love the Rentec pipes on this car, so much fun. Anyway, I'm now gonna hit the roads. Gran Turismo events had an epic lineup. There were so many cool cars there. I actually wish I had been out to watch more of it earlier, but no doubt plenty of people have been able to see that from the sides of the track. It's about 4.5 hours from here to the tunnel, but we're back in the GTR. This is my long distance cruiser. This is a long distance cruise. This is what it's all about. So let's crack on and get towards Calais. It's Autobahn time. That means noise, noise, and more noise in the GTR. And my God, this thing is fast. That's 220 already. 250 already. Gosh. 270. 280. 290. And we're going to get 300. Yes, 301 and on the brakes for the traffic. Wow. Do you know what? The GT3 is a fast car, but this thing is just astonishingly quick. It is so unbelievably powerful. All 672 wild horses rampaging behind, well actually rampaging up in front to propel us from the wheels behind. Oh my word. The ease with which we just did 300 kilometers per hour. This is my baby. I really love driving it. And then this, drop some gears, this guy will shuffle over in a second, and then up to the red line we go. Numbers build 170, 200, 220, 250. This is just 270. Got a little bit of traffic, so 280. Let's back off nice and gently. This guy is still going past at 250. The noise of this at speed going past you must be something otherworldly. Even in 7th gear, the torque. It's so planted for the size of the car. As we do 310 now, 314, and I'm going to back off for the cars we're going past. This is how you drive a car home. Oh, into a speed limit section, so lots of braking to pull down the speed. Goodness, when you slow down from that kind of speed, you have to shake off a lot. It's such a buzz driving this thing. Such a buzz! Sadly, this is the end of the Autobahn, and that means massively slowing down because we are entering Belgium. Fingers crossed, Belgium is not going to be the usual rainy traffic jams that I'm very familiar with. It's still 7 PM in the evening, so it could be a little bit of traffic, but hopefully by the time I get to Brussels, traffic is gone. The evening is going to be clear and smooth. We can go into comfort mode now and just drive gently for the rest of the day and get safely back to the island that is the UK. Except I've kind of told you a lie. I'm actually in the Netherlands, not in Belgium. You cross over a small part of the Netherlands if you take this route and then into Belgium later on. They're all the same, right? There's no difference. Who knows what country we're in? This is not a huge surprise. It's been forecast the entire day, but it's actually taken until I am just 1 hour from Calais until the bad weather has actually started. So that's worked out rather in my favour. Other than this, the journey's been very swift. I've knocked off some good time from the navigation, and I have a Flexi Plus pass for the Eurotunnel, so you can turn up whenever you want and it will immediately give you the first crossing. So it's totally easy and relaxed because I didn't know how long today was going to take, and as you've seen, it's actually taken a little bit longer than I first expected anyway. So I think it's going to be a gentle final run, about 20 minutes or so to the French border. Another day with, what, 4 or 5 countries in a day, which is always good fun. Then catch the train, get on over. Well, isn't this lovely? I'm being a bit sarcastic if you haven't noticed. This weather is horrible! It is looking foggy here, so I've got here, had a moment to stop in the lounge, and now go straight down towards the train. This is a very smooth process when you get familiar with doing it. It's very deserted though this evening, outside of me and my crackles. So let's go get into this train. It's actually really eerie. This would be a cool place to do a photo shoot. But alas, we're going straight in. To cross on over. Yeah, that's not a particularly busy train. So what's the top speed record inside a Eurotunnel train? Because now would be the time to do it, although it'd be so noisy and the guy's standing behind me, so let's not go down that route right now. I decided to use this crossing productively, so all of the stickers have been removed. I promised you they were coming off, so the yellow Shmee one is wrapped up in there, the 3 media stickers from the doors and from the bonnet, and also the banner that goes across the top of the windscreen. But the beast of the Black Hell is back in all its glory. I told you that wasn't permanent. However, there will be things on the horizon for this car, so stay tuned later in the video and we'll have a quick talk about what is going to be next, the next part of the story and adventure for the beast of the Black Hell. And out we roll onto English ground again. It's actually been quite a while since I was last here in the UK. A night drive back into London, and that will be the end of today's journey. What it is to be back in London. I've not been here for ages. This car hasn't been here since the Rentec modifications were made, the downpipe, the ECU, all of that side of things. I'm driving it in comfort mode. Well, we had our blast on the Autobahn earlier, right? But this is the Mall, that's Buckingham Palace right in front of us. And it just feels special to be back in London every single time. There's something about this city. It never sleeps. It's the middle of the night, yet you still have police sirens going off, tons of cyclists around everywhere, traffic jams, you name it. But not too far now to get back to my place. Then put the car away in the garage. This thing is just so me in a car. It eats up the tarmac for breakfast, lunch, for dinner, you name it. It might not be as fast as the LT, it might not be as collectible as the GT8, but for actually driving, for not worrying about the mileage, not much comes close to the AMG GTR. For grand touring in a sporty way across Europe, this car is absolutely top of my list. I feel very lucky that I'm able to keep driving it like this, but for now I'm going to wrap it up. Tomorrow there is more to see, the future of this and the focuses, and there's a couple of other things going on as well. See you then. Good morning, it's time to get today underway. So I've brought the GTR over to my storage where it is now sandwiched between the Vantage GT8, which was all cleaned up and put undercover the last time I was here, and my new Focus RS Red Edition. Now literally when I picked up the Red Edition, I parked it up and haven't driven it at all. So it is time to put some more miles on that car and get it running. So today I'm going to be taking out the Red Edition, going for a drive, filming another video. I don't actually remember how many miles this car even has on it, but then we'll be back here later on just to hear the epic noise of that thing. But for the moment, let me just come and actually check this and see how many miles this car has, because I do not remember. 111. It is a whole pile of brand new. So, in we hop. Let's start it up, given that this is the startups video now. So gentle and quiet. It's definitely going to need some exhaust work, and that will be coming. This is the project car, remember? First things are going to be the interior. I've actually got some samples on me right now for what we might be doing, so I'm looking forward to that. But let me get on the roads. Got a couple of hours drive really today. Should have, well, maybe another 150 miles by the time I get home later.
This is where many people would now run the 10 minutes later thing, but it's actually been about 6 hours since that last clip. However, we're back in the garage. This car has a few more miles on it. Just quickly to show you, it now has 278 miles on the clock. It needs about 1,000 of gentle running to get it fully run in. And I also have here the sample for some red Alcantara from Proto Trim. So this is what we're going to be using, I think, for the inside of this car, to be discussed. But they've sent me a few samples. That certainly seems to do the job. So let me hop out now, go have a look at those two. In a moment, I'm going to start up the GT8, which from cold is just always absolutely mega. But before we do, let's talk about the new story, the new era for my AMG GTR. If we rewind the clock, you might remember when I was speccing this car, I was really fond of AMG's Solar Beam yellow paintwork. The problem for me was that at the time, it was £11,000 to option paintwork on a car that I knew I was going to do this kind of mileage on, so I couldn't bring myself to do it. They have since brought down the price. It's now actually £7,500 if you want to option that, so it's a couple of grand cheaper. However, I bought a roll of yellow wrap, which is at Dub Customs. I've never yet wrapped the car because it looks so cool in black. We did the black accents. You might remember like the black highlights on the grille, the yellow AMG badge on the front. Also at Posh Wash we did the black wheels, a couple of other things, did the tail lights as well, the tail light surrounds, just to make it look absolutely menacing. But I think it is time now for this car to go yellow. If you want to see the AMG GTR in yellow, maybe with some other mods as well, maybe there are other things we could do, maybe different wheels, maybe we can put bigger turbos, but first I think we will do the wrap. So that is coming in the very near future. Stay tuned for it to look a little bit more colourful and blend in better, I think, with the rest of the cars that we've got going on. But for the moment, let us go to the GT8. Now I'm going to come straight round to the back. I've just pulled the cover back, as you can see, but before you start up a car, you actually need to unplug the trickle charger. I didn't leave it sitting on the cushions because I didn't have time. Is this going to work? Yep, this is just going to work. The boot is full of car covers, as you can see at the moment, because the various cars are dotted in all sorts of different locations. But cars don't let you actually start them when you've got the trickle charger still in. We can close that down for the moment and get ready for me. Well, actually, I'll jump in. I'll leave the camera out here so you can hear this. To bring things to a close, we've got the Focus RS party, then both cars here side by side, and you're probably noticing, although if you weren't noticing you will be now, that the number plates on both cars are identical, and that's actually just because I've put the dummy plate on the blue car, given that we're in the private garage, so it doesn't matter. That's the plate it did wear. Now it's going to a new owner, it's got a different plate underneath that, but just for fun to see the two cars side by side. And I tell you what, while manoeuvring the blue car, which still has the Mount Tune exhaust and Mount Tune ECU tune as well, it sounds so good, and it makes this one sound super quiet, so we will be sorting that out. We'll also be doing some dramatic stuff, think wings, splitters, various parts that can be upgraded. The interior, of course, you know is coming, but let's just, to bring this video to a full start-up of every car, let's come round to jump into the Focus RS Nitrous Blue normal car, I didn't really know what to say there, and just fire it up to hear this exhaust. It's a really cool sound. 2.3 litre EcoBoost rumbles away, makes the most epic cracks and bangs as well, as you probably know. But getting everything ready, I'm going to be sad to say goodbye to this car. We've had some pretty epic moments, but it's been replaced by that one, so it's kind of okay. We'll survive. Anyway, for the moment, while I sort out the final bits of preparation, let's just turn that off for the moment and step out. So there we have it. That is, I guess, the full day of errands, 2 days of errands wrapped up into one video, sorting out the carnage that is looking after a collection of cars, a car fleet, however you want to call it, some supercars, some sports cars, some everyday cars, just the things that need to be dealt with, and that doesn't include insurance costs, logistics, paperwork, those kind of things, but bringing the GTR back home where it can now get serviced, getting that car ready to be sold, getting that car ready to have some more things done to it. Basically exciting times across the board. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this very random vlog. Of course, there is plenty more to come on the garage front with the addition of the Ford GT. Spec-wise, I'm going to lock on that very soon. I've got some ideas, and I'm looking forward to sharing the video. I've got a really fun thing planned if everything comes together, so stay tuned for that. And then
well, there's this wee surprise to come in the future as well that I've alluded to. So stay tuned for all of this, because the rest of this year and next is going to be incredibly exciting. I can't wait for the project, for the GTR, for the Ford GT, for everything else. Epic times ahead. Anyway, thank you very much as always for watching, guys. I appreciate your support an awful lot, especially the squad. You guys know who you are. It's been a while since we did a shout out, but I always appreciate it when you watch the videos, whether it's when they've just gone live, later on, comments, all the engagement. Appreciate it an awful lot. It's fun to chat to you guys as well. So thanks again, and I'll see you again very soon. Cheers.